My guest today is Madison Lawlor, a multifaceted actress and writer whose compelling performances and creative vision have made waves across both indie film and television. Now, she grew up in Rapid City, South Dakota, where endless days spent running through fields and forests sparked a boundless imagination. And from a young age, she filled the daylight with make believe stories and characters, a habit that would eventually shape her life's path. Even at the age of 16, she moved to LA with a singular focus to tell stories. Now, most recently, she can be seen acting in The Conjuring, Last Rites, Green and Gold, opposite of Craig T. Nelson, Pursued, the film we'll be talking about today, as well as the TV series Tracker and also Casa Grande. But while she thrived as a performer, she found herself equally fascinated by everything happening behind the scenes. On set, she discovered an even deeper passion for writing, producing, and directing. And that curiosity evolved into filmmaking. And she has co-written and produced two independent features. At such a young age, matter of fact, Juniper and Theater is Dead, each a testament to her love of bold, character driven stories. And again, she is here today to talk about her lead role in the suspense thriller Pursued, starring Molly Ringwald, Sam Trammell, and Angus McFadden, and the late Paul Sorvino, as well as Misha Tate, to name a few. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome actress, writer, producer Madison Lawlor to the show. Welcome, Madison.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. Well, tell me first off, you are coming off the success of The Conjuring Last Rites, making over $400 million at the box office. How does it feel to be part of a box office blockbuster?
Gosh, I mean, it's been incredibly surreal. And I'm just so happy that people are going to go see it in theaters. I think that's the goal is to get people in theaters. So I just feel really grateful and very, very happy.
Yeah, I am so happy too that the film went straight to the theaters and not to streaming because we still need. Well, it's like I saw this quote. I think it was by Sean Baker the other day, and it said we need to put cinema back into cinema and not just make it content.
Yes, yes, I agree. Completely
You know,
agree.
with you, believe it or not, I first learned about you from an episode of Tracker starring Justin Hartley, and the episode was The Mercy Seat, a very a very scary episode. And because I know that the last season of Tracker, all of the episodes really kind of pushed the envelope and went a little bit deeper, went scarier. But that episode, wow. So are thrillers becoming your favorite genre of film?
I mean, I feel like I love thrillers. I like suspense. I like tension. And I do think that audience they have a craving for that and the element of surprise, and I think that's why horror is doing so well right now too. um yeah, I think it's so fun because the stakes are really high, and I would love to do a comedy and just show up and laugh, but it is really fun to put yourself in these crazy scenarios that hopefully you're never in real life. It's really fun.
Well, when I saw your role in Tracker, that role came in after Pursued, correct?
Yeah.
So did you kind of take the role that you had in Pursued and kind of put that persona into that role in Tracker?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like they're very different characters. They're both strong and resilient, but I think there was a decent amount of time between filming, so Tracker kind of felt like its own thing. And it's television; it's not a film, so there's some different elements there too.
Well, you know what? That's funny because I was going to ask you because what are the differences between acting in a TV series like Tracker versus a big budget film like The Conjuring and then an independent film like Pursued?
I mean, I suppose it's the amount of time that you have. I think for television, especially network television, it's a pretty well-oiled machine, and there's a schedule that they've kind of worked down to a science that I don't know they don't stray from. They really stay on track, and I think with large budget films like The Conjuring, it's sort of similar. They have the resources that they need to get things done on time, and but you have the pacing is different. On TV, you're shooting so many more pages a day. On big budget films, I think you get the time to really take your time with each scene. And then indies, I think you're trying to do as much as you can in as short of amount of time possible. So it's just a different race that you're running. I think indie filmmaking feels more of like a sprint, but you're trying to sprint a marathon basically. And it's yeah, you never have enough time, you never have enough resources, but everyone's there for really the right reason. And yeah, I love them all for different reasons.
Well, for you, that that really helps you gain quite a bit of incredible experience by being
Yeah.
in three of those different areas, working with different timelines. Because isn't it true that with a TV series, you really have to stay close and true to the dialogue and the script, to where a feature, you're maybe the director allows you to kind of go outside the line to get the right feeling in the scene?
Yeah, and I suppose it depends on who you're working with, who the writer is, who the director is, but definitely with network TV, everything gets, there's different levels of approval, and there's constant rewrites that the writing room and the writing team is doing. But yeah, you pretty much have to be word perfect, and it is fun with indie films. I think you get to stray a little bit more. There's more flexibility and room to play, and yeah, the pacing of the entire experience is different because it's also a film. So it does feel like there's room to try something different.
Wow. Now, I want to kind of step back in time here a bit, because how did you go from living in the Great Plains to the bright lights of Hollywood?
Yeah, I think ignorance is bliss. I always knew I wanted to be an actor. That was the only thing that I've ever wanted to do. And I think I loved using my imagination growing up as a kid. I played house and played pretend and made all these characters. And when I found out that that was something that people did for a living, I was like, they're the luckiest people in the world. That's what I want to do. And that's just never changed. And thankfully, I've got, a really supportive family and supportive parents who are like, if you want this, then go after it, but you have to go after it all the way. So yeah, I didn't know anyone in LA and sort of just blindly moved here. And it definitely took me a while to get my bearings, a few years to even understand what was going on. But very grateful that I came.
So you came into Hollywood when what, auditions were still in person?
Yeah.
How did you handle that in the early stages?
Gosh, I think it ebbed and it flowed. I think originally I sort of had blind confidence when I first got here. I was like, why would I be nervous? This is so great. I'm so lucky. And I still feel that way. But I think as you progress and as you get closer to things that would be potentially really life changing or things that you really, really want, you start to feel the stakes in a different way. I think when I first moved here, it felt so kind of out of reach that I just had no anxiety or nerves at all. And then as you get closer, or you almost get these things that you really, really want, I think there was a period of time where I had pretty severe audition anxiety, and it was after I'd tested for a bunch of different shows, and then I had to kind of regain my confidence. And it's so ironic because you're getting close to things; it means you're doing something right. But I think your body is just tired of, I don't know, just controlling its emotions all the time. And then I kind of got over it and regained and was like, I just want to have fun with this. Like, this is my time. I need to get away from this anxiety. But yeah, I don't know. I think like it ebbs and it flows because you're a human being and things change, your emotions change. So it's been a journey, kind of my relationship to auditioning, I guess.
Well, you started young, so how did you handle rejection in the beginning?
I think I've actually always been pretty good at handling rejection. I think um, my I try not to expect anything. And then whatever, the audition is your time to perform and your time to really present yourself. And I think the as selfish as you can be and just making it for you and making it fun, I think allows you to really gain something from the experience that isn't about the outcome or about getting the role. Um, and I think rejection is just it's such a huge part of it. I would try to forget about the audition as soon as I left. And yeah, I don't know. I think I'm very grateful, but I think I'm pretty good at handling rejection because I think I just understand the game, and it's really competitive and there's a lot of people and it's not up to you.
Well, how did you handle the pandemic and then, of course, the explosion of self tapes?
Yeah, I think there's pros and cons to everything. I think it's amazing the freedom that can come from doing self tapes. You don't feel as shackled to LA. You can have more of a balanced life. You can do other jobs if you need to, and that's really helpful for a lot of actors. And it can be a little bit more on your own time. I think that's just incredibly helpful from a lifestyle perspective. But of course, you miss that opportunity to build a relationship with a casting director, to get feedback, to just be in person and really connect. But I do think there's a lot of pros from it. I mean, now I think it's sort of leveled the playing field a bit for a lot of actors. You don't just have to live in LA or New York. And I don't know. It's interesting. There's pros and cons, I would say.
Yeah, I always ask actors that question because some of them love in-person auditions, and then there are those that have never. This was the thing that was shocking to me. With some of the young actors, they have never been
Yeah.
to an in-person audition. They've only done self-tapes.
That is wild. That's so wild. Oh my gosh. I'm so grateful that I have had years and years of experience with in-person auditions because still for the you still have to go in person sometimes for tests or chemistry reads and to not have any sort of relationship to in-person auditioning would be very strange.
Well, and of course, I'm sure the callbacks, depending where you're at, callbacks can be through Zoom or you could be called in to show up in person.
Agree.
But it's just amazing how the whole system for actors has changed just within the last 5, 6 years. It's been insane. But
So
you have
insane.
some, no, go ahead.
Oh, it is really, really insane. I am like reminiscing now of spending hours a day driving in my car or having to cancel your entire day's worth of plans because you got an audition. It was invasive in a very different way, but also there's something really beautiful. You feel more immersed in it when you're, I don't know. I don't know. It really has changed so much.
Yeah, and for you, as I was watching Pursued, um, and I'm not going to reveal your age because you literally play a teenager in this brand in this film, and so you're really ageless, which is great in Hollywood. So that's working to your advantage. But you portray the lead character Lark in this film, Pursued. How did you get cast for the part of Lark? And that's a lead role.
Yeah. Well, I think I got an audition from my reps and then went in. This audition was in person. It was a few years ago. And kind of went through the standard process audition and then had the call back with Jeffrey and we worked through the scenes for a good chunk of time. He spent a lot of time working through them with me and then got the call that he wanted me to play Lark, which I was incredibly grateful for.
For being an actor, is there any difference in acting in a lead role versus a supporting one?
Yeah, I think so. I think you really have to be you kind of set the tone, I think, if you're a lead in a project. And I think it's definitely an added element of pressure. And it's something that I don't think you should take lightly. I think yeah, it's also it's from a stamina perspective very different too. If you're the lead, typically you're in most of the scenes, depending on the format of the film. But so you really have to figure out how to pace yourself, and you have to just be that much more prepared, I think.
In this day and age between studio films, independent films, and being the lead actor in a film, do you feel like is there pressure like you're carrying the film? Or with Pursued, there are other actors like Molly Ringwald and the late Paul Sorvino and those. So does that kind of take the pressure off in this case?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I think in some ways it adds pressure because you're working with these legendary people who are so incredible, and you're just like, God, I don't want I want you to like being in scenes with. I want you to think I'm a good scene partner. I want you to think that I know what I'm doing. But also you're trying to learn so much from them too and absorb what they're doing. So I think there's an added element of pressure because it's you're working with people who have had immense success, and uh, yeah, you just want to do a good job.
Yeah, when I watched Pursued, I've seen Tracker. I looked at some of the other work that you've done, and in my personal opinion, you're an actress to watch.
That's very kind. Thank you.
And because when I'm watching it, I'm like, she's gonna go even bigger than what you've appeared. Now, of course, The Conjuring. I mean, come on, when you have a $400 million box office hit, I mean that really helps the resume. But in this film Pursued, I liked the slow dance because
Mm.
it's not extremely frightening in the beginning, but it slowly starts to where you're wondering, oh my gosh, what is going to happen here? Now, Lark plays the character in which she's kind of a righter of wrongs. Have you ever done any online investigating yourself?
Oh gosh, that's a great question. I
Maybe
suppose I
check
go
out a
down rabbit.
conspiracy theory?
I definitely go down rabbit holes. I will go down Reddit rabbit holes if something pops up and piques my interest, and I'm like, okay, I want to download and know everything about this. So I'm a rabbit hole person for sure. Yeah, there's a
I,
lot to learn out
I,
there.
I, yeah, I love that. And when you read the script of Pursued, did you have any apprehensions based on some of the scenes? Because some of them kind of get rough.
No, I think it's a fun game of cat and mouse, and as an audience, I love those sort of thrillers where you're like, "Oh my gosh, he's there! Is he gonna catch him? What's gonna happen?" And I think having scenes with that kind of momentum and that energy is really exciting to me and really fun. So I was just excited to go on the ride. I think it's a fun ride, and I like the moments of scariness and intensity. I think those are really fun to play as an actor, so I don't shy away from them.
Well, as I was watching the film, there was a scene that really caught my eye based on your acting. So I want you to kind of walk us through the scene and how you prepared for it. Because in the scene where you were walking out of the school, you were upset, you were wanting revenge, and you were telling Jack that you had made things worse. What thought or memory did you pull from to bring that intense emotion of guilt to that particular scene?
Gosh, I think there's everyone has a different process. I think for me, personalization is a big part of it, and just kind of connecting with that feeling, moments in my life where I felt shame or guilt or embarrassed, even or enraged. I think it's a mixture of a lot of things, and yeah, I think just keeping track of what those things feel like so that you can access them when you need to. But I think it requires a lot of focus too, and film sets can be there's a lot going on, you're moving fast. So I think for me it's about finding calm and focus amongst the chaos and really just honing in and being specific with those feelings, and so they come up at the right time, I guess.
Yeah, in that scene when you're breaking down in front of Jack, who is a high school teacher, and I think one of the lines you had said that it's my fault, and I'm sitting there going, yeah, in a way, it really was, because if you
She
didn't,
has really
you know, because if you didn't go after the rabbit hole in the beginning of the film, one of the characters would
oh,
still be alive.
I know she has good intentions, and it just gosh, no good deed goes unpunished.
No, not at all. But I'm not going to give any spoilers here on this film because I want everyone to see it. But actor Angus McFadden is one scary dude. How did you prepare
He's
for the
amazing.
violent scenes with him?
Oh, he is such an incredible actor. I mean, he's really exciting to watch, and um gosh, the way that he just embodies his characters is it's just so exciting to be in scenes with him. You really, in working across someone like him, truly so much of the job is just being present and just taking in what's happening because he's so effective. So and he's such an unpredictable actor, which is really fun. He makes a different choice every time. You don't know what to expect. So I think he's just incredibly fun to play off of, and you kind of just have to take it in and be as present as possible.
You know, and I don't want to give too much away here because his scenes are like really insane. I mean, they make you,
Yeah.
the beginning scenes with him are very, you feel very uneasy. And then
Yes.
as it gets closer, it gets scarier and scarier. And
Mhm.
there's that one particular scene when Misha Tate arrives with the two big guys. And it was
Yeah.
so funny to watch Angus because not one time in that scene did he ever show fear.
Yeah.
And it just shows that how psycho his character really was.
Oh, totally. And how he's already thinking 3 steps ahead of everyone else, and yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and but yeah, this is I really love the movie, but for you, and I know we kind of mentioned it before, what was it like to work with Molly Ringwald, Sam Trammell, and even the late Paul Sorvino?
Yeah. I mean, gosh, I feel so lucky because you never know how people are going to be. You never know how people's process is, if they're going to want to kind of isolate and be alone. But truly, everyone was so warm, and Molly was just, I love her. She's just incredible, and she is just so easy to talk to. And same with Sam and Paul. I think you know it was a really incredible group of cast of actors that are so experienced and have such amazing careers, but they all really were just incredibly kind and warm and encouraging.
So when you're working with people like that, um, do you take things, do you learn things from them that you kind of put into yourself to use maybe for the next or a future role?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's part of why um, it's important to just be on set and immerse yourself in the environment as much as possible. I think these people have proven track records of being very fantastic actors, and I think it would be a disservice to myself to not try to absorb and learn from them. And I think just you see you see why you totally understand why they are who they are, and getting little glimpses of their process, and you see what they know works because they have the experience. And I think yeah, it's really just such an amazing added bonus to be able to work with these people and kind of try to just be a sponge and take in as much as possible.
Well, I have to ask, did Misha Tate teach you any badass moves on set?
Gosh, I wish. No, I'm still as weak as ever.
I was really hoping when it got to the scene with Misha, I was really hoping that she was really going to turn it up
I
about maybe
know.
10 times more
Well,
than what was in the film because I'm like, man, she could have done some damage. And, I think she kind of let him off the hook a little bit with what she could actually truly do. So I found that very, very interesting. But I'm not giving the ending away here. But I really enjoyed the film Pursued. But for you, what is next? What's next?
so currently, I co-wrote and produced, and I'm also in this film called Theater is Dead, and we're on the festival circuit right now with that. We just premiered at Fantastic Fest a week ago, and we're having a screening at Scream Fest October 14th, and then we're going to Newport. So we're busy on the festival circuit with that right now, which has been really exciting, really fun.
Now, is that a feature film or a short?
It's a feature.
Oh, fantastic. Now, I also see that you are working on or have worked on the new short film that you, I guess, wrote and directed called Elephant.
Oh yeah, I wrote that and am also in that and edited. Didn't direct. My friend, who's an incredible, incredible director, directed it. But yeah, we're in post on that right now.
May I ask what that film's about? Because the title was very interesting to me.
Yeah, it's sort of a meditation on grief. It's a group of friends who are seeing each other for the first time after many years after losing one of their mutual friends. They were high school friends, so it's sort of like the big oh gosh, the big sick. What's the name of that movie? My mind is escaping me. It's it's
Is
yeah,
it
it's
The
basically
Elephant in
about
the
grief and
Room?
basically, yeah, the weight that you feel in the room. Yeah.
Well, when you get that one done, I want to see it.
I'll make sure to send it to you.
Yeah, because I love short films, and that one kind of caught my eye when I was looking at your film resume. And do you have any future roles coming up for new features?
No, sort of back on the audition grind.
Wow. Now, do you have a particular? Do you have a do you have actors that you would dream about working with? Who would be your top male actor to work with, and who would be your top female actor to work with?
Oh my gosh. Oh, there's so many. Oh, it's a great question. I I have to think about this for a second. I mean, gosh, there's so many people that I love. I love Kate Winslet. I love Kate Blanchett. I love Viola Davis. There's so many amazing. I love Saoirse Ronan. There's so many amazingly talented actresses that I would die to work with, and actors. Love. I'm trying my role. I love Mahershala Ali. I love Paul Dano. Um, oh, there's just so many. The list is endless.
Well,
The list is endless.
I'm going to say it again, and ladies and gentlemen, you already heard me say it, but Madison Lawlor, you need to keep an eye out for her because she already has an incredible film resume now, but the future is extremely bright for this young woman, and she brings it to the table every single time. And ladies and gentlemen, you have to check out the new film Pursued, which is a terrifying tale focusing on Lark, played by Madison, who is an idealistic righter of wrongs, but who is still guilt ridden by the death of her father a few years earlier. But when she stumbles upon a threatening exchange in an online chat forum, she connects it to the brutal murder of a young woman. But with strong suspicions but little evidence, Lark decides that the only way to draw the violent killer out is to make personal contact with him online using a false identity. Well, that starts out as a simple, clever strategy from the safe distance of social media, but it ends in unforeseen, terrifying complications, leading to the unmasking of her identity by the killer. Now, with the help of some unlikely allies, Lark is forced to take matters into her own hands before becoming the next victim of the ruthless killer. Now, Pursued is available to rent or buy on Prime Video, following up with Google Play and YouTube. So be on the lookout for that one. And Madison, I want to thank you so much for coming on and not only sharing all of the films and TV series that you've been in, as well as us talking about Pursuit. I just thank you for being with me today to share all of that.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so great to talk to you.
You're very welcome. And ladies and gentlemen, you can catch all of the Bond on Cinema interviews at bondoncinema.com. Check out our Prime show, our YouTube channel. And yes, you can listen to us on your way to work or play on Spotify, iTunes, and Audible and more. And remember, you're either going to see me at the movies or from the red carpet. All right, hold on one second there. We're going to save the file. It'll black out for a second and then come right back.
Okay.